This happened at MOKO Mall in Mong Kok, right by the East Rail Station. I was working part-time at a sneaker shop back then. It wasn't some midnight ghost story. It was 4 in the afternoon, the busiest time of day. Most people think horror needs darkness, but the most unsettling things happen in plain sight when the mall AC is blasting so hard it makes your skin crawl. You know that specific sterile mall air, a mix of floor wax and expensive perfume? Well, I was heading up to the 5th floor stockroom when the air inside the freight elevator shifted. It suddenly smelled like dry, unscented talcum powder. Not the fresh kind, but the heavy, suffocating dust an old person might use to keep dry. It was so thick, I could feel it coating the back of my throat, making me cough. I figured it was just some parent who'd overdone it with a baby nearby, so I pushed the thought aside and grabbed the stock. Walking back through the glass-walled corridor, the sun was blindingly bright, but something felt wrong with the weight in my hands. I was carrying 2 pairs of foam runners. They weigh next to nothing. Yet the plastic bag handles were digging into my palms like I was hauling crates of lead. My knuckles were turning white, then a deep, bruised purple from the sheer pressure. I stopped to look inside the bag, but it was just 2 light cardboard boxes. My wrists started aching with a sharp, physical heat, but I just chalked it up to a repetitive strain injury from the gym. Then, while standing on the escalator, I noticed a guy a few steps ahead wearing a dull green windbreaker. He had one of those cheap yellow rubber duck charms hanging from his zipper. The weird part was how it was moving. It wasn't swinging, it was being squeezed. I watched the rubber flatten completely and then pop back into shape in a rapid, jerky rhythm that didn't match the vibration of the escalator at all. The guy holding it didn't move a muscle. His shoulders were perfectly level, staying eerily still as if he wasn't even breathing. I told myself it was just a high-tech stress toy, a little mechanical gimmick, but my gut was already starting to knot up. I reached the storefront and reached for the long aluminum door handle to head back inside. Before my fingers even brushed the metal, the handle depressed on its own, clicking downward as if someone on the other side was letting themselves out. I stepped back to give them room, but the heavy glass door didn't budge. I peered through the glass and saw my coworker Ming behind the counter, staring at his phone. Nobody was there. I pushed the door open and asked him if someone had just left, but he didn't even look up, just mumbled that I was the first person he'd seen in 10 minutes. I tried to shake it off, blaming the air pressure from the mall's ventilation, but when I tested the handle again, it was stiff and required real force to move. I went into the narrow staff break room to grab a seat, and as I sat there in the silence, a loud cracking sound erupted from the plastic raincoat hanging on the hook behind me. It wasn't the sound of fabric moving. It was the distinct, wet sound of bone or dry ice being crushed into powder. I spun around, and while the room was empty, the bottom hem of that raincoat was bunched up and pinched tight, as if a small, invisible hand was white-knuckling the fabric. My stomach did a slow, nauseating flip. I forced myself to walk back out toward the sales floor, passing the row of mannequins near the entrance. I glanced at the one wearing the new yoga set, but my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. The proportions were wrong. The neck was too long, stretching upward, and it was moving in a stuttering, low frame rate crawl. It wasn't plastic. I could see the actual pores and the pale, waterlogged texture of skin that had been dried out for years. It slowly craned its head toward me, its eyes nothing but hollow, expanding pits. I didn't hear a voice with my ears, but a static-filled frequency exploded inside my skull, a dry, raspy whisper saying, "Please, help me carry this. It's so heavy." I didn't scream. I couldn't. My body just went into a cold, primitive state of flight. I bolted toward the atrium, my legs feeling like they were moving through deep water. I collided with a shopper, but instead of a solid impact, I felt like I had plunged through a pocket of freezing mist. I scrambled down the escalators, my heart hammering so hard it felt like it was going to crack a rib. I finally reached the ticket machines at the station entrance and hid behind one, gasping for air, my hands shaking so violently I couldn't even grip my phone. When I looked down at my right hand, my index finger was paralyzed. A thin, gray thread, the same color as that man's windbreaker, was coiled tight around my base joint. It was biting deep into my skin, turning the tip of my finger a dark, sickly blue. I panicked and yanked at it, but the thread felt like wire, beginning to thread itself under my skin. Just then, the coin slot of the machine behind me let out that same dry, bone-crushing crack. I ripped the thread away with a burst of adrenaline that tore my skin, and I didn't stop running until I was on a moving train. I still go to that mall to shop now. Life goes on as usual. But my body kept a physical consequence. The deep red mark on the base of my right index finger from that thread hasn't faded in 3 years. And at certain moments around 4 in the afternoon, the scar starts to burn and throb. It makes you think about all those people standing perfectly still on escalators, or those bags that feel just a little too heavy for what's inside. We assume we're sharing the same space, but sometimes something from a different frequency is just looking for a way to offload its burden onto yours. And once you've been marked, that weight becomes a part of you. Before you go, I want you to do something very simple. Put your phone down and look at the reflection in the screen or any dark surface near you. Don't look for a face. Just look at the corners of your own shoulders in the reflection. Do they look perfectly level to you? Or is one side dipping down just a few millimeters, as if someone is resting a very heavy, invisible hand right there? Check the weight of the air in your room. If it suddenly smells like dry powder, don't look behind you. Just keep scrolling.
The story has ended, but they have noticed you now. You are already deep within the hollows. To ensure you find your way back, or perhaps to ensure you never leave, you must mark your presence. Like the shadow you saw, share the whispers you heard, and if you are truly brave, subscribe to Midnight Hollows, because some things only exist in the dark. See you next midnight.